Hello everyone and welcome to Mobile App Tutorials. In this tutorial, I will show you how to create a custom Android library, and then I will show you how to use this library in your projects. To make things more interesting, I will create a fragment in my library. And after I call the library, I will show you how I use this fragment in my layout in my project. Let's get started. We're going to start with a new project. So I created a new project here, and this is the default app module that comes when you create a project with a blank activity. As you can see here, in my main activity, I just have the onCreate method, and in the layout, I just have an empty layout. To create a library module, we're going to right-click here, select New Module, and then choose Android Library Module from here. Click Next, and choose a name for your library. Let's call it Custom Library, Custom Lib. Hit Finish. You will see now a new module created in your project directory structure here. And if you expand the custom library, there is nothing here under the Java file. We don't have any activity that comes by default when you create this module. And also we don't see any XML layout file under the res folder. In this tutorial, I will show you how to create a fragment in my library. So let's do that. To create a fragment, I'm going to right-click on the Java folder and create a new fragment. I'll just choose blank fragment. Now I'll get the wizard to help me create the blank fragment. I will just rename the fragment to, let's call it new design. After we sync the project, you will see that a new fragment file is created here in the Java folder. So this is my fragment class. And for the layout, I have also a new XML file. And this XML file, I'll just adjust it for an exist5 for now and zoom in a little bit. In the XML file, in the layout, I just have a frame layout as the main container, and I have a text view. Let's now change the layout a little bit. So in the layout, I will, first of all, I will select the frame layout. I will give it an ID, Fragment 01, and I will add a background color just to make it easy to recognize this fragment when we use it later on. So this will be the background of the frame layout. Now for the text view, I'll change the, first of all, I'll give it, of course, an ID, text01. I'll change the property of the height to wrap content, and I will also change the property of the text itself. So I'll change the size to 30, make it a little bit bigger. I'll also choose a background color for my text view. Again, just to make it easy to recognize this view when we use it later on. Okay, so this is now my custom fragment, and it's now inside my custom library. Let's go to the Java class. I'll just switch to the presentation mode to make it more clear. Okay, so this is my fragment right now. What I will do is I'll create a new public method. And this public method will basically not take anything. It will just, it will not return anything. it will just change the text of the text view when I call it. So ideally, this public method should take a string, and I don't want it to return anything. When I call this method, I will declare a new text view. Let's call it my text, and I will reference this text view by ID. Of course, because we are running this in a fragment, I need to get the activity first, and then I can actually reference this text view by ID over here. The next step is to change the text. So to do that, I need to use the setText method and just pass the text value that I will receive when I call this method. So basically, a very simple method inside my fragment. If you use this fragment from the library in a new project and you want to change the text of your text view, all what you need to do is to call the changeText method, pass the text that you want to change, and this method automatically will change the text of your text view. I just did that as an example to show you how we're going to use the library to call more complex algorithms later on. But just for a simple example, this is a very easy way to just declare a public method, and then we're going to call it later on when we import this library in my application. So far, I'm done with my simple library implementation, so I don't need anything else right now. I have a very simple fragment. The fragment has a layout, and I just added a text view in that layout. In my code here, I have a method that I can call later on from my code anywhere in my project once I import this library for sure. And then if I call this public method, then I should be able to change the value of the text. The last thing I'm going to do in this part is to make the library. So I'm going to make module custom lib, which is my library. And this will generate a file .r. This is the library application package that you want to import later on in your project. This is the library package, sorry, it's a library package. Now, you don't see this file from this view over here, so I'm going to switch to the project view, and if we expand the custom lib, under build, under outputs, under R, you'll see the custom lib debug.r over here. So in this part, we created a custom library module. We added a fragment to this library, we added a text view, we changed some properties of the text view, and we generated the R file. In the next part, I will show you how to import this R file back to your application, and how to set the dependencies correctly, and then how to use this fragment in your project. I'll see you in the next video.